In this video, I'll be showing you how to take the first major step in using CASEL Learning, and that is to set up your classes. Now, presumably, if you've already decided that you're going to be using CASEL Learning, you've already got your username and password. If not, just shoot me an email and I can take care of that. Now, when you come to CASELlearning.com, this is the regular front page that you'll see where they go down through and tell you all the wonderful things about CASEL Learning and why everybody should be using it. One thing I did want to point out is that CASEL Learning also does have a mobile site, so that's kind of nice because as we all know, kids more and more have smartphones on them, so if a kid wants to, they can actually do it from a smartphone. It also means that if you have a smartphone, you can actually use a smartphone to set up assignments, to check assignments, see who has and hasn't responded, and those kinds of things. So I'm going to go ahead and log in so that we can get started on setting up our classes. So my username is just M. Dalton, same username that I use to log into the network. That's probably the same for most of you. I already have my account set up, so I've created my own password. Now when I log in, mine's going to look a little bit different here for just a second, because when I log in I come to an administrator center because my account is set up as an administrator's account. But let me click on Teacher Center here, and this is what your page will look like when you first log in. Now what we're interested in for this video is setting up classes, as I said. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the bar here that says Classes, and I'm going to go ahead and left click on that. And once I've done that, you'll see that I already have 4 classes that I've set up. 3 of them are my actual classes. One is a demo class that I set up with my students just so I could show them what the assignments look like and all that. But I have one more class during the day that I want to start using CASEL Learning with, so I'll show you the process of getting that class set up and students added into it. So the first thing I need to do is just type in a class name. So for this one, I'm going to call this U.S. History C. It's my consultant class that I do, and it is period 4. So once I've got the name typed in, I just go ahead and click on the button that says Create New Class. Now, you'll notice that it was added to the list. Okay, so there it is, U.S. History C, period 4. I could at this point rename the class if I wanted to, or I can trash it and get rid of it. But I want to go ahead and click on the name of the class, and right away it's going to tell me that I don't have any students in this class, and so presumably it's going to say you probably want to do something. Now I'm going to make sure that I come to Class Management. Okay, once I've clicked on that tab that says Class Management, it's going to say you do not have any students in this class. Would you like to add students to the class now? And I go ahead and click Yes. The nice thing about CASEL Learning is that their people work with our folks, our NARIC folks, so that any student that has a login ID to get into the computer network here at school already gets a CASEL Learning account. You can see here they're all set up, so you don't even have to do that. All we're going to have to do is I've got my class roster sitting in front of me, and I'm going to need to go down through this list, find my students, and one at a time. I'm going to the C, so first one is Caitlin Carl. Then after that I have Nathan, who is there. And then I have Jamel, who is there, and so on. I'm not going to go through all 23 of them right now, but that's all I need to do is go down through the whole the list and check the students who are included in that class. And then once I'm finished, I come back up here to the top of the list, and I click on the big red button that says Add Checked Students. Once I've done that, you can see here I have this class, and it's got 3 students in it. And for each student, it's showing me their last name, first name, their ID number, and their login ID. This is when they go to log into CASEL Learning, this is what they'll put in as user ID. So for Caitlin, it would be MAL period 15 KM Carl. You can just tell them it's the same login ID that they would use when they log in on a school computer to get to their H drive, but they just have to stick MAL period in front of it for Malone. If they've never logged into CASEL Learning before, they just leave the password field blank and hit the login button, and right away it'll prompt them to create a new password. If they've already used CASEL Learning, so they've already set up a password before, but now they can't remember, There are two ways that that can be handled. One is if when they set their account up, when they logged in for the first time, one of the fields that will ask them is for an email address. They don't need to put an email address in. They can leave that blank. But if they did put an email address in, what that means is if they forget their password, they can have CASEL Learning send them a link to reset their own password. The other option is they're going to have to come to you and say, hey, I forgot my password, or I can't log in. And then when I come in here to my class management screen again, you'll notice that there are actions available. One of those actions is one is to send them a message. So the next time if I wanted to send Caitlin a message saying, hey, you never did that assignment or whatever, I could click that, and the next time she logs in, she would see that there was a message from me. The other option is the red X here is to clear her password. So I'm not going to do that right now because I don't know if she's used CASEL Learning or not. But if I clicked on that, it's going to ask me, are you sure you want to do this? And I'll say yes. And what that does is then the same thing as before. The next time she logs in, she just puts in this login ID here for the user ID, leaves the password blank, hits login, and it'll make her create a new password. Now, at this point, you can change and you can adjust your classes whenever you need to. So if you have students who come in or students who leave, or like this where I only added 3 students and I actually needed to add more, all I need to do is, let me go back out, and these are the buttons again at the top that we always want to use. So I'm going to go home again. All I need to do is I can go back into my class bar. I can click on U.S. History C period 4 again. And that brings up this class management page, and then I can just go to add students. And this is going to bring up the same list that we had the first time. You'll notice that, for instance, when I get down here to Caitlin, where is she? There she is. Caitlin's already checked, okay? And I can't uncheck her because I didn't say I wanted to remove her. I would do that from a different screen. But now I can just go through and add the rest of those students in, and once I've gotten all 23 of them in, once again, I come up here to the top, and I needed to add one. I would just hit Add Check Students, and then it would take me back out to this management screen, and then I would be able to see that, yep, all 23 students are in there. So that's it. It's that simple to put your classes together. If you come across a student who does not have a CASEL Learning account, again, you can email me. The other thing is if you go to SysAid, and you can get to SysAid a couple different ways. As I'm sure you know, one of them is from the teacher resource page, one of them is from the Malone, the district website, from the front page there. But if you put in a SysAid, one of the problem areas in a drop-down menu is student accounts, and it specifically is aimed at CASEL Learning. So if you have a student who doesn't have a CASEL Learning account, you can put in a SysAid and they'll get that added pretty quickly. Or like I said, you can email me and I can get that added for you as well. The only thing, if you do it through me, the problem is that I would need to know things like the kid's graduation year, first initial, middle initial, all that stuff. That's information that the guys at NARIC already have, probably as long as the kid has a computer account. So sometimes it's probably easier to go through them. That's it. That's all there is to it. Once we've got our classes set up, then the next step, which I'll show you in the next video, is to go ahead and put together an assignment, to create an assignment, and then to give that assignment to a particular class or to multiple classes, and you take it from there. So if you need it, stick around and I will talk about that in the next video.